When responding to an RFP in a competitive environment, traditionally, we do detailed estimation with profit margin and then submit a fixed price offer. What can I do this if I have to do it a project in Agile way, getting story points? Yeah. Anyone has answer before I share my view?
Going to attempt or respond to the RFP these following sections. Maybe that is one of the way.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing your opinion. What I say here is, see, any process, be it Waterfall, be it Scrum, or be it anything in the future, will not directly fit into the way we work our business. Yeah. So this is something we need to explore. How do we fit that? Now, the essence of Agile and Scrum is the scope will evolve over period of time. The requirements will evolve over period of time. That's an essence. Now, even if you follow Waterfall or I would not say a Waterfall, some other process, but where requirements will evolve over period of time, it's difficult to put a proposal in the beginning. Yeah, because people don't know. And I think many of you might have done it. You get a one-page requirement and customer expects a proposal from you based on the one page. And then and you also know what happens in the later stage. As a smart vendor, you will put a lot of terms and condition, you will write your assumptions, and that is how you go with it. And maybe even with an Agile and Scrum, you will do the similar thing. You will do your due diligence, you will put your best possible visual thing, and you will put various ideas that, okay, these are the things which can probably make us relook at it, and the way we do traditionally. Now, what is the difference then if it is a same thing? The only difference is if you agree to do an execution using Scrum way, then you will have frequent inspect and adapt, frequent check apps, and that will make the progress visible. That will also make the client empowered to change the idea. Maybe in a fixed price contract, it will cost them some money. It may not come for free, but at least they can see and do something about it in advance. Now, if they have a very crystal clear idea, now they know what they have to do, assuming you have some system which is already in a place and it just needs to be replaced by some different technology, or you have a customized, you have a off-the-shelf software which needs to be configured for the different utilities. So you may have a pretty fair ideas. In those cases, you may still go predictive. You may not go into adaptive way, but when you have a pure adaptive thing, then you need to design a contract which facilitate adaptive things, and based on the visibility, whatever you have in the initial stage, you try to form a contract which allows you more flexibility as you go forward. Now, it may not be very popular thing to do, but in the real world, you also have a mixing of Agile. Sometimes you have, no, we don't want to listen about the cost. The scope should be fixed in the beginning, but you can execute in Agile, which may look not good, but it is good in a way than just doing execution also in a predictive way. So I have seen, especially some government projects where the initial requirements were fixed in a waterfallish way or predictive way, but the execution was iterative. So it means you have a list of things which the way one of the participant was explaining, and you created a backlog out of it, and you started executing it after sprint by sprint, and many time after 2-3 sprint execution, those backlog items starts changing. But in those cases, you may have some contractual or price implication related to that. Any follow-up question or comment on this topic?
No, so this question was from me, Saket, Shivang, and what I understand from you is that maybe in practical terms, we are talking about execution in an agile way. But let's say the sales part, the pre-sales part, where you have to do the estimations and submit the commercial offers, there you can still be doing a predictive or something and add those in your proposal that, okay, how you want to achieve it, your team will do it and everything.
Perfect.
What I wrote separately in the question as well, if we are doing this, and we just get some ethics from client, you will not get too much detailed requirements often. And if we are going into that and we are doing some story point estimation that Agile tells, then are we not doing the predictive thing
okay
again?
See, There are two
Instead of
things.
saying it hours, we are saying story points.
There are two things. One thing is the scenario which we are discussing is not overall agile. That's the one thing. Is it has various elements of agile missing, which is more about we will know as we go forward. That portion is missing. That portion is totally missing. So it is not a agile way of executing. That's the one thing. Now even with that, we are saying, can we do something here? We understand it's not agile, but can we get some benefit of agile? Then we can say, okay, looks like that your environment and your stakeholders don't want to get into agile, but they want to have incremental execution out of it. So it's not an ideal agile case, but it might exist. Now, when this thing exists, you don't have to stick to any story point or anything else. Like, in a way, story point is a one way of estimating the work, which allows you to do in a progressive way some amount of sizing. It's not very structured. It doesn't require too much visualization of the work, so you can quickly get started with something. But many agile, especially in a contractual terms, where you have a complex and a multiple vendor environment, especially a multiple vendors when they interact, they use different mechanism of estimation as well. Some may end up using function points. Some may still believe on hour or ideal days, which some of the agile writers also talks about. So you may end up discovering something depending upon the context. Now, what we are discussing is, it is not something which you desire to have. Your desire is you want to get 7-8 people. Nobody cares about the cost initially. They only care about the idea. And they give you around 2-3 months where you sprint for 2 weeks. And then you bring up an idea. When the idea start getting materialized, then say, okay, let's figure it out, guys, how much time this idea will take to come into a working product. Yeah, that is, or a releasable product. That is a kind of thing you might visualize when you are visualizing the pure Scrum path. But what if the project has been released multiple times and somebody is just looking for the another release? Then you have a lot of uncertainties taken care.